All right, Lance, let's jump into this thing here. I am going to start with the Baltimore Ravens. And for those that don't know, here's what we do. We give you a snapshot of their free agents, cap space, all that kind of good stuff. We'll talk about some of their building blocks. And then we're going to do the best part of this exercise, which is the championship foundation for these teams. And let me explain that. I put this in a tweet probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it's kind of created a life of its own. But I was saying, man, if you could condense these teams down, like to just say, what do you need for a core championship foundation? And obviously you build from that core. What we came away with was the quarterback, 3 offensive playmakers. You need 3 quality offensive linemen. You need 2 pass rushers. They could be inside, outside, both, or, wherever you want to put them. And then 3 defensive playmakers at the linebacker and secondary level of the defense. So that's just kind of like that core group that you're looking for. And then you can grade them out. And we have, through that, Jack and our buddies with NFL Research, they put this thing together for us. So they've looked at it from blue color being a blue chip player, green being a really good player, good starter. Yellow has some type of concern, whether it's age, injury, contract. Pink is an unproven young player. He might be a great player, a really good young player, but still hasn't done enough yet, proving wise, that they're still on the climb, on the ascent. So let's start with the Baltimore Ravens, Lance. First of all, they are picking 30 in the first round. Then they have their own picks in the second and the third. No extras there. Projected cap space, they are going to have $5.1 million in cap space. Notable free agents, there's just a couple here. Kevin Zeitler, the guard. Gus Edwards, the running back. Odell Beckham Jr. Madubuike is the big one, the D tackle. We'll see if he gets tagged. Clowney, Van Noy, linebacker Patrick Queen coming off a great year. Geno Stone coming off a really good year, the safety. So when we go through and look at that, Lance, let's just jump to the building blocks. You've got Lamar Jackson's 27. Kyle Hamilton's 23. Roquan Smith is 27. Linderbaum, the center, is 24. Zay Flowers, 23. Odafe Owe's 25. Keaton Mitchell, the young running back who played well as a rookie last year, he's 22. Isaiah Likely is 24. So all those guys are under contract through at least the 26th season. So that's that group there. And then when we get to the championship foundation, this is how research has it here. They've got the quarterback, obviously Lamar Jackson's a blue. Offensive playmakers, you've got Mark Andrews, a blue. Zay Flowers is a green, might be headed towards a blue. And then the next spot, you have a combination of Keaton Mitchell or Isaiah Likely. They're both pinks. They're still young, unproven players. You've got Linderbaum as a blue for the quality offensive line spots. Ronnie Stanley's a green. Morgan Moses is a yellow, a little bit older. Pass rushers, you've got a blue with Madubuike. You've got a pink with Owe. We're projecting that Madubuike will be back on the franchise tag, by the way. And the back end, it's really good with Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith as blues. And you have Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams as greens. You would have Patrick Queen as a blue there as well, but obviously he is a free agent.
Boy, they're in phenomenal shape with the blue chippers. That's rare to have 6 true blue chippers, and I agree with the designations of each of those guys. And then Marlon Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley, Zay Flowers. You're going to probably tag Madubuike. I mean, there's a reason they're in such great shape from a projected cap space standpoint. If you look at the free agents, losing Stone and Patrick Queen would hurt. I think they'll keep Madubuike, but this is not – they're notable free agents or quality players, but it's nothing that's going to kill you. And you have all 3 picks in the first 3 rounds. So you've got your core. You'll have your drafted players. You'll see if anyone can make their way in. Baltimore's in really good shape, even though they don't have a lot of cap space. They're still in pretty good shape. They're still in really good shape, I think.
Yeah, I think the offensive line is probably where they look to reinforce there with Ronnie Stanley having some injuries, Morgan Moses getting a little older. It seems to me that would be the target there. As we finish them up, their last 5 first-round picks, Zay Flowers, great pick. Kyle Hamilton, great pick. Linderbaum, great pick. Bateman, solid. And then Owe, solid. So
I'd say those are 3 big hits, and then I'm okay.
Yeah, a couple OKs. All right, let's move it to the Cleveland Browns coming off an 11-6 year. Again, no first-round pick because of the Deshaun Watson trade. They are picking 54 in the second round and 85 in the third. Cap-wise, they are $19 million over, so 19.6 over the projected cap. Free agent wise, you got Zadarius Smith, edge rusher, Maurice Hurst at DT, Shelby Harris at DT, Anthony Walker, the linebacker. They're building blocks. Again, these guys are all under contract through at least 26. You've got Deshaun Watson, who's 28, Denzel Ward's 27. JOK, the linebacker, is 24. What a great young player. Delpit is 25, the safety. DeJuan Jones, the rookie tackle, is 23. Jedrick Wills is still only 25, the other tackle. Jerome Ford, 24. Cedric Tillman's 24, the receiver. Martin Emerson, corner's 23. Hickman's 22, the safety. Greg Newsome is 24. That's a lot of young players on that defense. When we go to let's go over to their championship foundation here as I pull that up. Interesting group here. Quarterback, interesting. Deshaun Watson is a yellow because you've got the injuries there. And the performance hasn't been great in Cleveland. Two blues with playmakers with Amari Cooper and Njoku. Nick Chubb is a yellow.
I've got greens on those. Are they blues or greens?
Sorry. No. Sorry. You're right. I'm colorblind.
Okay.
Amari Cooper and Njoku are both greens. I could make a case for those guys.
Njoku might be a blue for me.
Yeah, I can make a strong case for blue there. Nick Chubb is yellow because of the injury. In terms of finding the three quality offensive linemen, they've got Conklin and Batonio as yellows, I'm assuming for age. Wyatt Teller is a green. Jedrick Wills, DeJuan Jones. You've got injuries, I would imagine, there is why they're yellows. Myles Garrett for the pass rushers, obvious blue. Okoronkwo is a yellow. And the defensive playmakers, they've got Denzel Ward and Owusu Koromoa as greens. I could make a case for some blue there. And then defensive playmaker, the third spot, they've got Delpit or Newsome as pinks. So that's what you look like there. Only one blue, but I think you could make a case for a couple more on there, Lance.
Well, I think the problem you have with this team is that they're 19 million. They're 19 million over the cap, and you've got a quarterback and a running back who should be blues, and Watson and Chubb. But Watson hasn't played like it and doesn't have a great contract. And then Chubb, it's just the injuries. He's a blue player who has to go into the yellow pile because it's just. You just are not getting that same performance due to injury, and Jedrick Wills has not progressed as much as I like. Now, I'll tell you this. I watched some DeJuan Jones against and I had questions about DeJuan Jones coming out. I think I had a third-round grade on him. I watched him against Nick Bosa. If you haven't watched that, DJ, you should really go back and watch because it is.
He played great when he was on the field. Yeah,
really
he missed some time, but he played great.
And he learned. As the season went on, he started figuring out his length a little better. And I was really, as a guy who was very suspect about his change of direction, I think he understands how to play inside out. And I think DeJuan Jones is going to be much like not Orlando Brown, but his son.
Orlando Brown Jr.?
Yeah. Not Orlando Brown Jr., OBJ as I call him. Yeah. I think Orlando Brown Jr. is a great example of, the teeth gnashing at the combine and all that. He's a long player who plays more like his tape, and he's been a solid player. I think DeJuan Jones is going to end up being the same. But, man, I'm nervous for the Browns because there's not a lot of – you don't have a first-round pick. You got a quarterback on so far a bad contract who hasn't performed the way you think he should, and you don't have a first. I mean, this is going to be tough to right the ship unless some of the young guys start playing. I think Cedric Tillman can take another step forward, but you really need Jedrick Wills to step up. And then I think you're only going to be as good as your running back is healthy, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, the good thing is they've got a lot of good young players on that defense.
They do.
And Jim Schwartz is a defense coordinator. They're going to be good on that side of the ball for sure. And we'll see what happens with them on the offensive side of the ball if they get some of these guys back healthy. Their last 4 first-round picks: Greg Newsome, Jedrick Wills, Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward. So they haven't had a ton of those because of trades. Let's get to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, they are projected $13.9 million over the cap. They are picking 20, 51, and 84, so no extra picks there in the first 2 rounds, finishing 10-7 last year. Let's look at their building block players that are under contract control here. You've got Minkah Fitzpatrick's 27, Alex Highsmith's 27, George Pickens is 23, Pickett, we'll see what he does next year, is 26, Broderick Jones 23, coming off of a solid rookie year, Joey Porter, another rookie, 24. Keanu Benton, that's a good rookie class, 23. Fryermuth 25, Najee Harris 26, Jalen Warren 25, James Daniels, guards 26, Dan Moore, tackle, a little uneven play there. He's 25. Darnell Washington, the rookie, man, again, good rookie class, 23. Herbig, another one, is 22. When we go to the championship foundation for these guys, Kenny Pickett is a pink. He is an unproven young player. George Pickens is a green. So a good, solid player. You got Deontay Johnson, and then you've got the two running backs, Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. They are all.
I would argue that the combination of those two is almost green.
Could be green. I would agree with that with Najee and with Jalen Warren. I think that's fair. They have them. Research has them as yellows here. Maybe I'll lob to have those updated. Broderick Jones, the tackle, he is a pink. You've got a green for Samalo. He was a really solid player for them. Then you've got some yellow there for Dan Moore and James Daniels. On the defense, the pass rushers, you get a blue for TJ Watt, a green for Alex Highsmith, a blue for Minkah Fitzpatrick, a pink for Joey Porter, and they need another one. They didn't research didn't even put in a third one here. It just says question mark here. So finding another playmaker, either the linebacker or the secondary, would seem like an obvious direction that they could go here in the draft.
Well, okay, you're over the cap, so be it. From a free agency standpoint for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's not an issue for them. Their issue, and look, it's notably, as we've heard time and time again, this is one of the youngest teams in pro football. The problem you have here is that you don't have the quarterback figured out yet. You need, I think Broderick Jones is going to be just fine, but you still need an offensive tackle, and you need to find a wide receiver. I love what Joey Porter Jr. did last year. I think that's headed in the right direction. I think Broderick Jones is definitely headed in the right direction. When you really take this all in, it wouldn't shock me, DJ, if I think short of the quarterback, which is going to be a concern, they could really tighten up some of these areas with this year's draft. So I actually think the Steelers are still in pretty good shape relative to their age and the rookie contracts they're going to be playing on.
I think I figured it out here. On the running backs being yellows, they're both up in 25, depending on whether or not they exercise. Yeah, so that falls in the contract. So we're talking about building blocks, guys who are going to be here and are under control for the foreseeable future. So I would imagine with both those, and we'll see what they do with the fifth-year option with Najee Harris. But that is why I assume that they are listed as such. When we look at what they've done in the draft, Broderick Jones was a solid player last year. Kenny Pickett, verdict, jury's still out on that one. Najee Harris has been solid. Then Devin Bush no longer on the team. Terrell Edmonds no longer on the team. They have not had rookies sign second contracts there very often in like the last 10, 15 years. Like there haven't been a ton of them first-round picks that have re-signed. So that's something they've got to get better at in terms of hitting on their first round picks. All right, let's get to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, comparing them to the other teams in this division, pretty interesting. They were picking 18, 49, and 80. Projected cap space, $59.4 million to spend here for the Cincinnati Bengals. But a big chunk of that's going to get eaten up by T. Higgins on the tag, more than likely. Tyler Boyd's a free agent. Jonah Williams is a free agent. DJ Reader is a free agent. And Chidobe Awuzie, also a free agent. Building block-wise, age-wise, Joe Burrow's 27. Jamar Chase is 24. Cam Britt's 24. Daxton Hill, young safety, is 23. DJ Turner's 23. Young corner, Jordan Battle's 23. Miles Murphy's 22. The kicker, Evan McPherson, makes the list. He is 25. When we go to the building blocks here, the championship foundation, we get Joe Burrow's a blue, Jamar Chase is a blue, T. Higgins is a yellow on here because of the contract, I would imagine, the projected tag. You've got Joe Mixon as a yellow. You've got all offensive linemen. You've got three greens. Orlando Brown Jr., Alex Kappa, and Ted Karras as greens.
Ted Karras is a green. Wow. I mean, coming out of Illinois, I just thought he was just kind of a guy, but this is that's a great example of these guys play. Tell me what they can do.
Smart and tough.
What can they do? And Ted Karras is a great example of that.
Trey Hendrickson's a blue. They've got Hubbard and Hill as greens. Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt, that combo is greens as well. Then you've got the defensive playmakers. The last two spots, they've got just a bunch of names in here with Cam Taylor, Britt, DJ Turner, Dax Hill,
They're all
Jordan
young,
Battle,
all young guys.
all young guys,
Yeah.
all pink, just kind of young, unproven players.
So T. Higgins, is he a
what do you
green or
think?
a blue for you? If he were
T.
to sign
Higgins,
a multi-year deal, green or blue?
I think if he signs a multi-year deal and it's under control there, I think you're talking about a blue player. I think he's a blue receiver.
Two blue receivers, a potential in your mock draft to get your hands on a tremendous run after catch tight end and Brock Bowers, and then Joe Burrow.
Yep. And the thing is, that offensive line doesn't need blues. If you can just build your offensive line with some just all green across there, just all solid, good players, you don't need any Hall of Fame guys, and they're just steady, solid group. That collection of talent on the outside, Burrow will get the ball out of there. So
here's the question for you, DJ. DJ Reader's had some injury issues over the last 2 or 3 years, but he's really impactful when he plays. You going to pay DJ Reader, or are you going to let him walk?
They got $59 million. It feels to me like this is a sign your own free agent year here for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they can accomplish a lot by signing their own guys. Look at their last 5 first-round picks, Lance. Miles Murphy, Daxton Hill, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Jonah Williams. Amazing how 2020 and 21 shaped their franchise. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, that was that literally was their foundation to already get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was well, that's what happened. It's usually not building outside, like the Falcons have tried to build out, right? And usually you want to build the trenches and build your way out, not build your way back inside. But because Joe Burrow's so great at getting rid of the football in general, it's worked out for them to an extent. But we also have 2 years where Joe Burrow had season-ending injuries.
No question. Which, by the way, I give NFL research some crap on this one, because technically Burrow should probably be a yellow coming off the injury.
No guts to give him a yellow.
They know we're gonna tweet this out.
Chubb gets a yellow, but Joe Burrow gets a blue.
They did not want the smoke. They did not the Twitter smoke on that one. So they
try doing a mock draft with your blues and your yellows and your greens and watch what happens.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. All right, this has been a fun one. I want to encourage everybody to check out the next episode we've got coming your way this week, which is going to be my conference call on Thursday. We will package a portion of that because it's a long one, and that'll be something you can listen to, where we have over 100 media members on there firing questions away. So a lot of draft talk on that one. And Lance and Bucky will kind of pick it up next week from the Combine, and we'll have updates all throughout the week at the NFL Scouting Combine.
Don't forget. On NFL Plus, you and I are breaking down the Combine. What the Combine's going to look like position by day.
Yeah, no question. We already recorded those, so those will be released on NFL Plus. If you have the app, check that out.
Spoiler, I hate doing this, but we do have some day 3 offensive line talk going on too. So.
Oh yeah. We were previewing. We're trying to get you guys excited. Lance gave a 5-minute dissertation on
somebody. There's a center in the 5th that I love.
Closed it out with, I think this guy could go like 5th, 6th round. I'm like, Lance, we want people to watch the Combine. We would love for them to tune in. This is not helping the cause here, but nonetheless, check out the videos. I think you'll enjoy them.
I'm trying to keep them locked in for the last day, DJ. That's all.
There you go. I love it. Again, in all sincerity, thanks again for popping on with me, man. It's always great to chop it up. Lance does his work, does his homework. Be sure to follow him and check him out. All his stuff on NFL.com and on social media is outstanding. All right, that's it. That's it for today. We'll see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.